how elements are living inside us. Or when I say it this way, it is as if it's a part of us. But for instance, fire, we don't have a physical element that is fire inside of us. But you know it, you recognize it directly when you see somebody who lives without fire. And so the element of fire, for instance, is what many depressed people, for instance, don't have enough at that moment. And that their
Yeah.
fire is burning
But
on a very
fire in
like,
our body is metabolism, is the nervous system and the metabolism. So fire in the body is the actual element in the physicalness. And so as you're saying, when you see somebody with low fire, just low metabolism, they're
yeah,
probably
what I meant
sluggish.
to what I meant
Yeah.
to say is that um, when you see a fire, a real fire with wood and fire and get wind, that kind of fire doesn't live within us. And
Yeah, it's good we don't have flames inside. I
but
think it's a
it's
good thing.
yeah, I think that too. But it's I agree completely with you that when you want to give the fire a physical structures, then we have to go to the nervous system and to the digestive system for part. Digestive system is, for me, every element, a part of every element.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so every human being, we are connected with these elements. And um, Um, I even think we haven't said out loud yet what these elements are. And so we talked about
Oh,
the
let's do that.
fire, the
Earth.
fire, earth, wind, and water. That are the four elements of Mother Earth. Did you want to put a fifth element in?
There are cultures that will talk about the fifth element. The fifth element is ether. Ether is the one that oversees and balances all the others. Yes.
Yes. The
Yes.
way Mother Earth is talking about this fifth element is ether. Ether, she doesn't call it herself one of her elements because she says it belongs more not to me than me, and the part from ether that belongs to the earth is already in all those four elements present. And
Right.
so that's,
And
but
see how we were talking about, I'm sorry.
that's the way she
Oh, we
talks
were
about it. But there are, of course, many very wise people who are, I think, find it very important to talk about it that way. And that doesn't mean that that is wrong. That's just another vision. And so, and I know also that there are um, native people that make from wood an element also and metal also. But that's just another
Mhm.
vision. It's not my vision, and therefore I don't think it's Robin's vision either. But
It is.
it's
It is mine.
uh,
I use 5.
okay.
I use
So
5.
Robin uses 5, I uses 4, and so that's just another way of looking at it. And not one is better than the other. It's just your
No, they're
personal
both true.
preference. Yeah.
Mhm. How I align with, okay, how we were just talking about the spiral instead of everything being a cycle and just how what we are saying when you and I say the word cycle, we are meaning spiral. We see cycles as spirals. For me, ether is what spirals you up. When you come back around the cycle, you can go back around that circle, or you can go up a level and you have your next cycle. For me, it is ether that moves us up to the next spiral. And remember a little while ago, you and I personally were talking about Ophiuchus? That's along that same, that's what spirals us up. Anything I see that lies outside of the basic four, just a little bit outside, that'll be what spirals us up. So that's how my 5 elements align with how we approach things.
And in your vision, when Pachamama is speaking with her elements, is there also an element of ether in which she's speaking, like nature things happen, nature
Yes, I
disasters
see
or
that as how we're talking about how there are higher frequencies coming in. That's Pachamama speaking with ether.
Mhm.
Is bringing ether in, because
Yeah,
there's already the element of ether in each of the elements. So those higher frequencies are coming in through the ether. Yes, that's
yeah, and
exactly how I see it.
yeah, and that's exactly what um, um, Mother Earth was saying. Why she doesn't call it a part of hers, because it is a big part of the ether is also not in her, not from her.
Correct.
That's why she
That's
doesn't call it hers.
exactly how I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
How, with what do you want to go further with,
Oh, I wanna like kind of go back, because my favorite of everything, all of my excuse me, all of my searchings and my ancient wisdoms, and my favorite is to go to the old stories. So I absolutely am very, very connected. I love when I get to revisit indigenous cultures creation stories, and I got to do that because we were talking about elements. So I want to go back to when we started the podcast this morning, and you were talking about um the 4 elements in the resets that Pachamama has gone through before this current humanity, and how those other humanities prior to us became out of balance in one way or another. There are indigenous stories. The Anishinaabe comes to me off the top of my head, where they speak of when when creator was creating the world, it started with the elements. Well, there were 2 sets of twins, and that cycle ended, and then we got to the cycle with the elements, okay? And then she had 4 sons, and the 4 directions and the 4 elements all line. So the four sons are the directions, and the elements are the daughters. And the elements did not get along in the beginning. There were cycles of destruction that define the cycles of creation, where the elements themselves were learning how to get along. And you see, so we are mirroring that, where we in this little world need to learn how to keep my 4 elements in harmony and balance and getting along. So we're not approaching this, you and I are not approaching this as a mental exercise in the brain. We want it to be less of a concept and more of a realization of how directly connected the elements in our body are to what's going on around us, the elements outside of our body. So, in following with Pachamama's journey, there's a necessary cycles of looking at the imbalance that you are existing in that has maybe gotten comfortable, but with everything changing around us is not comfortable. And what do you do with that? So again, it's seeking balance and look at the elements and the world around you is a reflection of what's going on inside you. So, I know it's a really popular thing, this new age idea of decluttering your house. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful one because that is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And if you declutter your space, you declutter your inside, the flow starts to happen. Water and air. Sometimes, fire. That's a great purge.